All right, so our recurring segment here on Morning Kick Around American soccer is weird because, yes, it is weird. I mean, we just got done talking about the National Independent Soccer Association, which is a professional league that is trying to blaze its own trail, chart its own course in a country that is a very messy operation when it comes to running professional leagues and teams. And this brings me to Major League Soccer, the All-Star game. Tonight in Austin is the MLS All-Star game featuring a bunch of MLS players against a bunch of Mexican players. Now, you know who won't be there? James Rodriguez will not be there. He did not travel. He is not part of the Mexican contingent, unfortunately, even though he was named to the team. There's a very good possibility that Lionel Messi might not be involved, or Jordi Alba, for that matter. Both of them no-shows at training in Austin. Messi missed last year's because of injury. Is he missing this year's because of injury? Will he be suspended because of his injury? We don't know yet. That is one element, one story around this. But I was watching the MLS All-Star Skills Challenge last night. Turned it on, flipped it on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. I had an option. I could have listened in Spanish or I could have listened in English. I chose English. I don't know why I'd made that choice in that moment. My Spanish is not good enough to follow every single word being said, particularly when multiple people are talking at the same time. All right, your boy is working on his Spanish, but I'm not quite there. So I go for English, right? That's my first language. That's what I can understand. And this is what I thought fairly quickly as I'm watching the All-Star Skills Challenge. They're doing the shooting challenge. I'm watching the two teams go back and forth and think ultimately what happened. Denis Bouanga got hot at the end and managed. Oh, that was the volley challenge. I'm sorry. The shooting challenge. It was Evander who stole the show and set a record for points. I mean, a record for points. Oh my gosh, how exciting. The thing was corny as hell. It was just corny as hell. Now, I have a very high corn tolerance. Now, I may on many occasions be corny myself. I don't know that I think of myself as a corny person, but who does? Who runs around and go, you know what I am? I'm a corny person. You know, unless that's your shtick, unless you're a performer and that's what you do, who's corny? Who thinks of themselves as corny? But this was very, 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 it was cringy in a way that didn't make me uncomfortable watching it. It made me uncomfortable for Major League Soccer. It made me uncomfortable for the product. And of course, because I'm an American soccer fan and because I've been covering and talking about and watching Major League Soccer for so long, it then becomes a reflection on me as an American soccer fan. And we do this. We internalize the other things other people do around American soccer because we see others judging American soccer for that thing. Right? So particularly a lot of us care way too much about what Europeans think of our game, our version of the game. And that leads to complicated feelings when something like the MLS All-Star Skills Challenge happens. And I'm like, this is corny as hell. Like I got Jillian Sakovic interviewing Evander about hitting some targets in a goal. Like, what is he supposed to say? You know, Michele Giannone on the field, doing a good job going back and forth between English and Spanish to interview the 16-year-old Liga MX All-Star. What's that kid's name? I'm gonna butcher it. Gilberto Mora, is that what it is? Gilberto Mora, I think is his name. 16 years old. Remember, started in the Gold Cup final. Mexico beat the United States, so you got a Gold Cup. And what is a 16-year-old going to say about playing in an All-Star Skills Challenge? Now, this is what I want to get to, and I see the chat is already responding to my comments about this being corny. Right? First of all, we got athletes in general are corny. That seems to be the case. I will agree with that. Jay Hunt, MK Ultra. I think the skills challenge is one of the few American things about MLS left. All right, that's interesting. That is an interesting point. Because there is that, again, that instinct to run away from the Americanness of something. And as a booster of let's just be authentically ourselves, let's be American, how can I sit here and argue that the skills challenge is a bad look for Major League Soccer when I also say sometimes, hey, lean into being American? And when I talked about this morning, I that's the emotion. That's the thing. Like, is this a situation where Major League Soccer just needs to lean into being American, and sometimes American means corny, and just own that? Or is it a problem? Now, another element of last night's festivities in Austin was that YouTuber iShowSpeed was involved. Now, he wasn't on either team, but he did start off the shooting challenge. So they recruited iShowSpeed, who has 42 plus million followers on YouTube. Morning Kick Around might take a little while to get there. We're going to get there one day. Probably not. He's one of the most popular YouTubers on the planet, right? One of the most popular streamers in the world. He kind of pops up everywhere with soccer these days. I think he was involved in some UEFA stuff. Maybe he's been around. He was in the Champions League. Club World Cup. That's what it was. He had Johnny Infantino on his stream, right? And he is. I mean, I don't. He's not for me, right? iShowSpeed is not for me. Like I'm not. And I'm not judging that. Like, if Major League Soccer thinks that he is going to bring some attention to their product, and that's a benefit to Major League Soccer, and he wants to be involved, or they can pay him whatever he wants to be involved, more power to him, I guess. More power to him. I mean, I see a little bit of resentment here. Jay Hunt, he has zero ball knowledge. He's just a massive Ronaldo fan that is forcing himself into the space. I heard that he said on mic in Austin last night that he's a Ronaldo fan and he got booed for it. which Austin fans, let's go. That's good stuff. I don't know. The whole thing has that vibe of trying too hard. That's what it is, right? Major League Soccer tries too hard. And it's not cool to try too hard. It's not cool to make a big effort. Now, or maybe you can, but you have to have the right elements involved. They also had Vince Young throwing a football for some reason ahead of the touch challenge. Vince Young and his kid. Now, they're in Austin. Vince Young is a hero in Austin, having gone to Texas and won the national championship and all those things. But again, all of it felt off. It felt off. And then that's just me, I guess. That's just me. That's my opinion. That's, is this something that, and I don't even mean kill the skills challenge. They brought it back. I'm okay. It's fun. Whatever. It's fun. It may be cringy, but it's fun. It is not something that I think should be a major reflection on Major League Soccer's value in the world of soccer, the world of football. Some people may see it that way. I know some people have enthusiastically jumped on the bandwagon here. I know some people do it in that ironic way. I love an Englishman. Got lots of English friends. I love an Englishman who sort of ironically loves American soccer. In this way of it's so weird and different. It's nothing like the real game. And so I can enjoy it without feeling guilty about it because it's like watching wrestling. We all know it's not real, but there's enough reality in it that we can just sort of accept it for what it is. Matthew says, is it possible that I'm old, bitter, and out of touch with the children? I am yes, 100%. But am I not reflective of some element of the MLS fan base or the potential MLS fan base? Does everything need to be skewed towards the generation that are subscribers to iShowSpeed on YouTube? I don't know. And again, this is a question I'm asking, not an opinion I'm throwing down that they need to get rid of this, or that American soccer, Major League Soccer, and I suppose by extension Major League Soccer, needs to try to be cooler, because that's a hard thing to pull off. Unless you are, it's hard. Now, and there are definitely things around American soccer and elements of it that have gotten more into that area. Just as somebody who goes back to the pre-Beckham era of Major League Soccer, and then started covering MLS, started going to MLS games, going to MLS events, talking to MLS people in the aftermath of the David Beckham era. Beckham brought cachet to the league it did not have before. It simply didn't. Now, there were other cool players, I guess. Now, certainly no one's going to say that Carlos Valderrama is not cool, but I don't know. His hair maybe makes him goofy on some level. Anyway, Beckham brought something the league didn't have. And then there was, among a group of us who became American soccer writers, analysts, podcasters in that generation, right? The people that the people that jumped on at that moment or who had already been around, but now were kind of riding a wave that Beckham helped create. There was this sense that we needed to evolve, right? The first evolution of Major League Soccer or American soccer needed to be from the orange slices, halftime, soccer mom, youth soccer vibe, right? Because that's a particular kind of flavor. And that flavor was established because soccer for so long was a suburban exercise, mostly with white kids of privilege, middle class, upper middle class white kids running around these fields in the exurbs, right? It didn't have American soccer didn't have cachet, and the soccer mom thing didn't help, right? Because a lot of America thought when they thought soccer, they thought soccer mom, and that didn't help. Soccer moms are not minivans, and that's not cool. Orange slices, that's not cool. Now it can become cool eventually after the fact, again in some ironic way, but it took a long time to move on from that. And maybe one day I'll, on this show, have some conversations with some people who were around when all this stuff is happening. Talking about Sean Francis and people like that, because that was what we were chasing. Like, we wanted soccer to be cool because obviously that would make us feel better, but also it would hopefully help the game become more popular. Like, I don't know. It is an interesting conversation. Like, when you look at world football, right? And by being the best players in the most popular game on the planet, you just have a cachet. You have a coolness factor, right? Kylian Mbappe, that kind of thing, right? Lamine Yamal's 17 years old. He's got the braces and the hair, and he's still, he's cool, right? That's what he is. No one's going to say he's not. Can American soccer capture that same energy when the league is not ranking among those teams or those leagues? There's no champion. I mean, again, the Champions League is the top level of the game. You have to be playing in a Champions League club to be considered one of the best in the world. We don't have that. So what are we talking about? Is that a thing we should even bother with? Does the All-Star game undercut what cool factor MLS could have? And I know it's kind of corny to be talking about things being cool. So this is all very meta today, I guess. All right, we're going to finish up here on this solo episode of Morning Kick Around. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, become a member, become an MK Ultra. Join us. Join the movement. Become an Ultra. Help us decide if things have to be cool or not. You can follow us on MKickaround or at MKickaround on X, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Social media outlets for you there. Send us an email. Send me an email telling me I'm not cool at morningkickaround@gmail.com. Oh, I forgot to mention this. We're a podcast, so if you want to listen to the show and don't have time to watch it on YouTube, you can get it in your podcast feed. Look for Morning Kick Around. You'll find it there. You can throw us a couple bucks without having to become a member at coffee.com/morningkickaround. It's ko-fi.com. Here's the phone number for that. So there you go. Thank you, everybody who jumped in here and was part of the show today. Thank you to Chandler Hoffman for coming on. No show Friday. Maybe not. Maybe Rob will be back on Friday. I will be out on Friday. But please continue your support, and we'll talk to you soon on the next Morning Kicker.